Oh, I I just totally had my regular thing up and not the getting ready screen this entire time. Whoops. Did not realize that. Whoopsie. Off to a good start. Uh, but I need to turn down the music in my ear. Spring, the music's not too loud, right? I mean, I was muted partially for that, but just. Oh, yeah, fair. You do probably have too many tabs open. Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure. Because I've had it in several different settings recently. Yeah, I meant to have my starting Scoon screen up. And I had OBS open in like studio mode so to flip it, but I forgot to hit the flip button after setting up my camera. We are starting strong. I just did this whole row of this sock backwards. Let's undo this whole row. We're just working on this sock just as a warm up here before the raid hits us. A little one of those like no show type socks. Thanks, Ship. So helpful. uh, no, I usually only stay on that screen until the ads play, just to get that first round of ads done. I'm good now. I just went to go switch off of it and was like, wait a minute, I'm on it. Yep. He's not ruining a stream. Come now. What'll ruin the stream is if we get to trivia and she answers and steals all the trivia points. What did I do? I have done something horrible with this sock. All good. Either way, it's fine. We're just going to undo this whole row that I just did. It's supposed to be a slip one, knit one, but I did all knits. Whoopsie. I mean, all Canadians are gonna have a advantage in the trivia because we're doing Geography of Canada trivia. Yeah, it'll be much worse if you make a mistake in front of everybody because it is Canadian themed. Although I probably will make fun of you mercilessly if you go for the scholar level questions and make a mistake. Or not sorry, not the scholar, the student? Yeah, the student level, because those are the easy levels. Yeah, we're playing trivia tonight, Cub. We're playing trivia. And hi, welcome in. What did I do here? This is where I screwed up. So should we just make a new rule then that all Canadians have to pick the scholar level and everyone not Canadian has to pick the student level? Well, answers are Hudson's Bay. I mean, I'm sure there's at least one card that will be right. What other bays could it be? It could be the Bay of Fundy. All the questions aren't going to be just like Nova Scotia. The first question's going to be Nova Scotia, but not all of them will be. I actually don't know that many bays. Now that I'm like trying to think about it. Or, ooh, I know another bay. It could be Thunder Bay. That's not even a bay. I don't know Danger Bay, unfortunately. I think that might be one I don't know. I'm in that weird borderline of like I was born in the 80s. I was born in the late 80s, so I'm like I've got some of the references but not all of them. Depends how many of them carry forward into the 90s. Okay, good. My dropped frames didn't increase from the very start. There was a point when I first went live where it was like, climb! Like, no tomorrow with it has not increased since then. So we're good. All I can hear is chaos happening from the other side of the house. It's so distracting. My stitch count definitely went off with that weird muck up in the middle. Fix that. Excited about the playlist I found to listen to very faintly in the background. It is East Coast Kitchen Party. Because that is something Maritimers are known for. Kitchen parties. have changed Supreme. Yeah, that is true. People do visit a lot less. Although, as someone who grew up in Ontario and moved to the Maritimes, that's definitely a culture shift that changed. Like, people are still quite a bit more social out here, which I appreciate. I don't think it's just your circle. I think it is a little bit Ontario. um, I mean, there are definitely people who have become more sheltered, more homebody, a little less out. But but I do find it is the maritime kitchen party type thing still really does exist, or I think it tends to. Also, it depends what area of the Maritimes you're in, of how affluent your neighborhood is. Find the less affluent the area, the more likely you are to have social engagement, as horrible as that sounds. That's not right. I'm pretty sure we spend half of our weekend going and visiting. Husband. Yes. Uh, the French do tend to have more of that social kind of environment built into their culture and society, the way it works. Like, I grew up, sorry, siren. I grew up mostly in Ottawa in a Franco-Ontarian area. So I had a lot of that of like every holiday, every whatever was a big family get together. Family dinners between like three generations happened almost kind of every week. And it's still really big here with like the Acadian population too. Yeah. Yeah, the Sunday suppers. Really did my fair share of those. Like now, right now, it just tends to be a lot of, especially in the summer, a lot of backyard parties or fires, sitting around the campfire. That is very, very common. Invited over to a friend's house to go sit by the fire. Hi, Ranch. How are you doing, Miss Pesto? How was your stream? I am doing wonderful. We are just hanging out, talking about kitchen parties and backyard parties and how you gather socially in the real world, if you still do. And I'm working on a little sock while we wait for the raid train to show up, because they're due in less than 10 minutes. I don't think I have an echo. I hope I don't have an echo. No one else has mentioned an echo. Thank you very much for the follow. It was probably just me. I think my earbuds might have connected to both my phone and my. I have had that happen occasionally. I've been using my earbuds like I am today with the computer instead of my big headphones. And yeah, sometimes they connect to both and wacky things happen. What were you working on your stream today? Hey, nothing frogged is sometimes a victory in and of itself. How close are you to dyeing your hair purple? Oh well. You gotta start somewhere. Make some sort of goal. Still a fun idea. Are you sticking around for much of the raid train, or do you need to run today? Awesome. We will be doing some trivia games, and at the end of the stream, there will be a chance to win this pretty woven bookmark. Of course, no problem if you need to lurk. I get that life happens. Whenever they're ready, Supreme, I am good to go. Push this row here and put my sock away. Thank you for the check-in. All right. While we wait for them to start making their way over, let's start prepping the loom. Don't need a ton. We'll call it that much enough. Oop. What was... I remember the name of the company I got this yarn from. The next question. I'm snooping. Snooping. No one sees me snooping. Snooping at the trivia questions. Trying to decide how wide the next bookmark is going to be. This one was the full width of the loom. I think I'm going to do this, the one we're making today, a little narrower. That's 1, 2, 3. Yeah. I think we're gonna go 3 in. I am missing my cardboard. Where did that go? Right, I'll just make a new one real quick. Hello, Disaster Crafter and the TCC raid train. How are we? Welcome in, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us and participating in the raid train. Choo-choo! Let's see, who did we have coming in? We had, of course, Disaster Crafter. How was your portion of the raid train? What did you work on? I think you were junk journaling, I think I popped in and saw briefly. We say hi to Mel and Coldest Gaming and Miss Creates. Welcome back, Supreme. Hi, Chris. Welcome in. Cub, welcome back. Xylera. Vixen. Masked Bandit. Shoutout showed up. I'll start describing what's going on, Supreme. I'm sure there will still be more trivia by the time you get here. So, welcome to Nova Scotia, Canada. We are doing a very Canadian and very Nova Scotia stream today. If you haven't met me, I'm Quilted Hearts. I am a variety crafter of everything from cross-stitch to knitting to anything else under the sun that involves a string. Today we are going to be working on this little tiny loom that we 3D printed. Thank you very much for the follow. If anyone knows a 3D printer and is interested in learning how to make a loom, that is the model that my husband made for this little loom. And we're going to be making a bookmark similar to this. It is in the Nova Scotia tartan colors. This background fabric I'm using here is the Nova Scotia tartan. And so this was a yarn that was made during lockdown. We don't talk about Woody. And at the end of today's stream, you have the chance to win this bookmark if you want it. To win it, you have to earn points in our trivia game. So you are earning, we're calling it noggins points. And so you'll earn the points just by lurking and hanging out, but you can also get more points by answering some noggins trivia questions. There is a channel point redeem that is 10 points to redeem to get a question. If you answer that question correctly, you earn extra
Holy
points.
frixicles! You
Holy
are my
frixicles.
first welcome.
And yeah, if you redeem that and answer the question correctly, you'll earn some extra points. Coldest Gaming rolled a 3. And you redeemed on a student question. So the student questions are the easy questions. So our first category is Nova Scotia. Your question is, what is the capital of Nova Scotia? So coldest? Yeah, well, you've got the question now. Do you know the answer? Hi, Grim, welcome in. Trying to make sure if I catch. Coldest got it correct. There are your noggins points. Supreme, your question. It's a scholar question about none of it. What was your number? I missed your number. Because those disappeared too quickly. You rolled a 1. Uh oh. Hopefully you didn't pay too much attention to the card. What is pictured in the center of the Nunavut flag? No, husband, you cannot answer. It is an Inukshuk. And that was one of the hard questions. Uh, am I going to get any of this? Uh, I am working on a bookmark loom that I am trying to make, assuming I get past any of the questions. So, Cub, your question. Did you do scholar or student? You did a student question. Yours was, in which ocean are Canada's lobster fisheries? Atlantic, yes. You get left behind on your own raid? Aw. How was your stream otherwise there, Grim? Welcome in. We are currently working on a little bookmark in the Nova Scotia tartan colorways and answering trivia questions to earn points that you can spend in an auction at the end of the stream to win the bookmark I've already finished. This one here. And the questions are all related to Canadian geography. You would like to risk answering a question? Use one of the channel point redeems. Student question for Mel. This is going to be from an Ontario question. You rolled a number 1. True or false? Ontario is the largest Canadian province by surface. It is false. Supreme got it right. No. I still give you the points, even though you got it wrong. Didn't mean to do that, but whatever. I'm being generous. The largest province is Quebec. All right. So now that I've got these ones spread out, I'm gonna just weave this piece of paper in to act as a barrier so that when I beat down the strings, I'm not going all the way to the bottom. I'm leaving myself some room. This is a 3D printed little bookmark, if you weren't here when I said it earlier. A little bookmark loom that we designed is available on printables if anyone likes doing a little tiny mini weaving and knows someone who has a 3D printer. It is really pretty. That's my background fabric here. It's a really nice royal blue with a green and some reds and yellows. I bet it's been a long week because you've been right there with Supreme, or kind of dealing with all the transitions. Yeah, so this yarn is the same colors. Was made by a local dyer called Handmaiden. All right, and so we're gonna do just a standard in and out weave. And I like that it's a very like good forest green and like a really rich royal blue. Those very rich colors. So the next question, when anyone is brave enough, is from the prairies. That's what the category is for our Canadian geography. Scholar question. Cubs feeling brave. Which province grows the most wheat? Saskatchewan. And two. The next one is going to be Prince Edward Island. I love these noggin packs of questions. It's Professor Noggins. And they do packs of so many different kinds of trivia games. They're fun. I picked up a couple packs when they had them at our local variety store. So I have Canadian Geography, Wonders of Science, North American Birds, and I think Human Body are the four that I currently have. All right, Vixen, we'll see you later. Well, yeah, we could have done one of those other ones, but we are doing the world tour. So I figured the Canadian one would be appropriate. But on the bright side, you are getting points just by lurking, so you can still participate in the auction at the end. You can do exclamation point noggins to see how many points you have so far. And about 20 minutes, a little more, maybe half an hour to the end of our stream, we're going to do an auction with those points to win the bookmark I already finished. And so there's a reason to get these questions. And now you're ready, as if you weren't ready before and already answered all the questions. You got a 3 for Prince Edward Island in scholar mode. True or false? Prince Edward Island is known for its sandy black soil. Oh, that's easy. That shouldn't be a hard question. True, it is false, Supreme. Prince Edward Island is known for its sandy red soil. In fact, It is so known well for the red soil that that is a souvenir you can get when you go to Prince Edward Island. They'll give you a white shirt that you can then dye with the sand that's there because it's so iron rich that it dyes with clothing. The next question category is Quebec. You did have red, but you said true first. And Supreme's just gonna hog all the questions. Quebec Scholar 1. What city in Quebec was declared a World Heritage Site by the United Nations? That's a lot harder than the red sand. Noggins. It's in the stream title. No, Supreme, not Montreal. It is Quebec City. Ooh, pizza. I hope everyone has had their raid train pizza. I had mine Friday night. I know, eh? Supreme is gonna get dethroned in my stream. Coldest Gaming, you have a question on rivers. Or no, that's Crafty Cub, sorry. Crafty Cub, you picked scholar question. You rolled a 3. I don't even know how to pronounce this river. The Assiniboine River flows into what river at the city of Winnipeg? Oh, Cub, I'm sorry. What? I don't even know how I'm supposed to pronounce this. That one. That river flows into what river at the city of Winnipeg? That is unfair, Cub. I'm sorry. It is not the Winnipeg River, it is the Red River. Although that was a fair guess. You did get it, Supreme. The scholar questions seem to be really hit and miss in terms of how difficult they actually are. Mel is doing a student question about Saskatchewan. You rolled a number 1. Saskatchewan is one of 2 provinces that have no ocean coastline. What is the other province? You have no idea? Well, do other people want to answer before I give away the answer? Supreme, it was which province is the only other province other than Saskatchewan that has no ocean border whatsoever? It is Alberta. Cub, did you whisper it? No good. I don't care. It's all for fun and games. Hmm. The Lara rolled a 1 on a student question. The category is What's in a Name? True or false? There is a town in Canada called Jerry's Moose. I mean, you got a 50-50 shot on this one. It is, in fact, true. It is a small town in Newfoundland and Labrador. You can always count on Newfoundland to have the weird names. Oh, Cub, I'm scared for you. Your category is Arctic Tundra. What word is used to describe the permanently frozen ground in Canada's Arctic? That one's not as bad as the river one. I'm okay with it. That's why I picked this weaving. Because I can maybe get like one or two little rows done. And that's also why we're giving away the bookmark I've made previously, and not this one. Oh, yes, Kelpie, it is permafrost. I didn't see your answer there. N2 at Crafty Cub. We do have a ad break coming up. We'll get Supreme's question in before it happens. So Scholar and you rolled a 1. This is on a Yukon question. True or false? Car license plates in the Yukon have the slogan Land of Living Skies. That is false. I don't know, it doesn't tell me what the answer is in the Yukon, but that phrase, Land of the Living Skies, is actually the slogan for Saskatchewan. All right. Student number 2 for the category bays. We were talking about bays before this rain rolled in. Uh, oh, Cubby, you called it. Is the water in Hudson's Bay saltwater or freshwater? It is saltwater. What am I doing here? N1 at Mel. All right, so the ad is starting now in less than a minute. You can still redeem a question, but I'm not going to do it until after the ads are done. So Zylera, I will get to your question after the ads roll, just so that no one misses it. Kevy's getting a good collection of points. Chance to get a little bit of stitching in while these ads are running. Quick, weave fast. I have to be careful not to go too fast because I'm actually using a sharp needle. Oop, drop time. Use your favorite emote to drop. And look, I had to be Canadian. Hamster milk? I don't know the story about hamster milk. I know you've got dancing hamsters, but all I can like imagine right now is the actual like act of trying to milk a hamster. That does not seem like it would be easy to do. Need to pull out my needle a little bit. Bagged milk. Have a good night, Grim. I hopefully will see you later. Thank you very much for raiding into us and hanging out. Alright, ads should be done. Let's get to Zylira's question. Zylira's category was biggest and smallest. The question was Canada is the second largest country in the world. Which country is larger? Or if you missed the question, let me know, Zylira, if you weren't back from ads. No, you had to wait a few minutes. Mhm. Oh, did we lose Lyra? Or they get to answer their question? Oh, I want to say it's the US, but I think. Well, Russia is in fact correct. Russia is big. Good job. The next question category is British Columbia. My tail here keeps getting caught up. Gabby would like scholar question number 1. Uh, Stanley Park is located in what city? I'll give it to you even though you spelled it wrong. There's one of those magic extra U's in there. The next category kind of ties back to what Supreme was talking about in her stream earlier today. How Canada and the rest of the world seem to be fairly interconnected. Canada and the world. You rolled number 1 on a student question. True or false? Canada has more fresh water than any other country in the world. We're going to get through this whole deck before the end of my stream. We're about halfway through already. Yeah, Cub, that is the exact reason that I didn't just do like first person to answer, but each person gets their own question. Gives people a chance to answer. It is in fact true. Canada has the most fresh water of any country. We have a lot of water. The next question category is capital cities. It's all good, Cub. You can ask as many as you want because really, each card has 6 questions on it. So we can just refresh and keep going. And if we get the same question, I'll just pick a different one. All right, Supreme. Capital cities. You got a scholar number 2. Name one of the 2 cities that share the distinction of being Canada's sunniest cities. Or sunniest capitals. Need one of the 2 who claim to be the sunniest. That's a harder one. Oh, sometimes. I mean, it's a capital city, so that does narrow it down. It is not Toronto. It was either Regina or Winnipeg. You can't see the sun through smog in Toronto. It doesn't melt your houses. Xylera, we have a question on forests for you. Roll a 1. Which is Canada's most widespread habitat? Boreal forest, deciduous forest, or Arctic tundra? That is supposed to be an easy question. Ah, I lost my third needle. Xylera, you should have trusted Supreme. Supreme had the right answer. Boreal forest. Yeah, you were a little trigger happy on that one, Supreme. All good. All right, Cub would like a scholarly question. The category is agriculture. And you rolled a 1. Oh, hey, this one's about Nova Scotia. What Nova Scotia Valley is known for its fruit crops? I don't think half of Nova Scotia could answer that question. Oh. No, the fact that you knew that, and I'm trusting that you didn't just Google it, I am impressed. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, the Annapolis Valley. That is the best farmland in all of Nova Scotia. If you're getting any kind of produce from Nova Scotia, it's likely from there. It's all good, it's all fun and games anyway. That's why there are 2 categories, but they don't seem to be very friendly categories. We have geology for Xylera. It was a 1. Which are older, the Rocky Mountains or the Appalachian Mountains? I know. That is correct. The Appalachian Mountains are older than the Rocky Mountains. The next category is going to be islands. Who knows stuff about islands in Canada? Supreme, you did a student question? Are those those scholar ones hurting you? The beautiful island of Haida Gawai. I'm not even sure I'm pronouncing that right, so I will type it. Are located in which ocean? Uh, it's just voided. The only person who's getting the points is the person whose question it was. Hi, Carolina. Welcome in. uh, it is not in the Arctic Ocean, Supreme. It is in the Pacific Ocean. You can't catch a break with half of these questions. You're getting some of the really harder ones. Even when you picked the easy mode. The next category for Xylera is going to be lakes. The question is, which is the largest of the Great Lakes? Now that's one that's fair to Americans and Canadians. She's an imposter! Lake Superior, yes. The next question category is going to be Manitoba. And it is apparently for Cub. You got it. You went for a scholar, eh? Number 2. Winnipeg is the most populous city in Manitoba. What is the second most populous city in Manitoba? Hum. Who knows anything about Manitoba? Honestly, I don't think I could answer that question. So I don't blame you if you don't. As far as I'm concerned, Manitoba has Winnipeg and Churchill, and that's about it. And Churchill is definitely not the second most populous, unless you're counting polar bears as population. Don't know any other cities? You give up? And the answer is Brandon, Manitoba. Yeah, I definitely couldn't have told you that either. Yeah, no idea. The next question category is mining. Thank you very much for the follow. Hello, Joyful. How are you? Feel free to join us in our fun trivia games. There are channel point redeems for trivia games on Canadian geography that earn you points, which you can then use during an auction at the end of the stream to win this bookmark I finished. And I am making a second one now.
This is the song that doesn't end.
Someone hit the button.
Yes, it goes on and on, my friend. Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever just because.
Someone hit the button. All right, Xylera is choosing to have the question on mining. What metal? You picked a student one, right? Yeah. What metal gave Sudbury its nickname? Gold, iron, or nickel? Oh, yeah. I will definitely hydrate. Although I'm not sure that's very hydrating. Unfortunately, no, Xylera, it is nickel. The city is known as the Big Nickel. There's basically a lot of nickel mines there. The next question category is mountains, which is going to be going to Crafty Cub. Hey, I am making some progress. Not much, but some. Number 3. The foothills are located in which province? It just says the foothills. There's an area known as the foothills. It is Alberta, yeah. Alberta would do that. I mean, fair guess. The next question is national parks. What question did I miss, Coldest? Oh, what am I drinking? Oh, sorry. Lemonade. It isn't a Tim Hortons coffee mug, but it is just lemonade. Xylera is picking a student question, number 3. Glacier National Park is located in which province? I mean, typically it would be coffee or tea, but I didn't want a herbal tea. I wanted something cold. And I've already had like 4 cups of iced coffee today, so that didn't feel like a good idea if I wanted to ever sleep tonight. Coldest, I will redeem your question as soon as I have an answer from Xylera on hers. Have a wonderful night, Cricket. It is British Columbia. And 1. Lyra. And Coldest. Your category is New Brunswick. You did a student level question. True or false? New Brunswick is the smallest of the 3 maritime provinces. Like the game knew, Supreme, that you couldn't have the easy questions. Funny, the card actually has like an extra bonus. Actually, Coldus, it's false. New Brunswick is not the smallest of the three maritime provinces, it is the largest. The smallest is PEI, Prince Edward Island. Yeah, there are like little extra challenge questions, and I think we've only gotten one of them so far. Can't remember which one it was. Yes, where it's not black sand, it is red sand. We're learning a lot about PEI today, and everyone's lack of knowledge of PEI. So the next question is for Newfoundland and Labrador, which is gonna go to Supreme. We picked a scholar question. You feel a crap now that you are at the category? Oh, I think you might be okay with this one. The capital of Newfoundland and Labrador is located on an island. What is this island called? Well, Coldus, you are traveling vicariously through the raid train. You had no idea it was on an island? Think about that real carefully, Supreme. You're gonna be real mad at me if you don't get it right. No, St. John is not an island. St. John is the capital of Newfoundland. Do you want me to give you the answer? I feel like you are going to yell. Okay, I'll read you the question one more time. The capital of Newfoundland and Labrador is located on an island. What is this island called? The capital of Newfoundland and Labrador is located on an island. What is this island called? Yes, Newfoundland Island. I was so scared for you there. All right. Xylera has a question on the Northwest Territories. Uh, what is the capital of the Northwest Territories? It was kind of worded weird and kind of tricky, but yeah, the question was in the answer. Yeah, that one wasn't so much a hard question, so much as just a tricky question. Yeah, what is the capital of the Northwest Territories, Xylera? Yellowknife is correct. So the next category is Alberta. Crafty Cub would like to answer a question about Alberta. Hamster milk. The answer is hamster milk. You did a scholar. True or false? Edmonton receives more snow than any other provincial capital. You have 1 hour and 2 minutes of me left. Oh. Cub, you're saying true? It is actually false. St. John's, Newfoundland receives more snow. We have gone through the entire deck. So we reset back to the beginning and hope we don't get the same question again. Each card has like 4 to 6 questions on it, so there's a good chance we're fine. Yes, I do mean the city that is on the island of Newfoundland. Yep. Yes, if I recognize that it's the same question, I will just alter it to another one. I mean, I can shuffle it if you guys want me to. That's not gonna make a huge difference, except you get to watch how bad I am at shuffling. Alright. Celera gets Canada and the world. How many countries share a common land border with Canada? Almost at the end of my first string for weaving this. Slowly but surely. The question did say common land border, Supreme. So, Xylera, unfortunately, it is just a 1. Just the US is the only one we share a land border with. Everything else is water. The next question category is Saskatchewan. That is actually the province I was born in. Crafty Cub picked a student question this time. What is the capital of Saskatchewan? Yeah, Regina, Saskatchewan. Posture check. Ugh. Stop leaning. The next category is Quebec. La Belle Province. Ooh, I have not spoken French in a long time. Alright, so we made it like, an inch and a bit from the first string I pulled off. Let's get more. You did great. Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with French education. Hi, Andrew. Welcome in. Thank you very much for the check-in. You feel like joining the shenanigans? We are playing some trivia games to earn points for an auction at the end of the stream. I mean, you could potentially still win if no one bids. Zylera, we are doing a student question on Quebec. You rolled a 3. What is the capital of Quebec? Okay, Spring. It is Quebec City. The next category is rivers. Oh, 1 second, Supreme. I will get you as soon as I rescue this string that tried to run away. Alright, rivers. We did Scholar number 2. What is Canada's longest river? It is not the St. Lawrence. The longest river is the Mackenzie River. The next category is Alberta. This one's been going not too bad for Cubs, so let's see what you get. You did a Scholar. What rock formation characterizes the Badlands? Slag, Pingos, or Hoodoos? I don't know this one. I don't know it. I am also learning things today. Slag, Pingos, or Hoodoos? Thank you very much for the follow. It is apparently hoodoos. Whatever a hoodoo is. If you know what a hoodoo is, good for you do, because I do not know. Fairy chimneys, is that what a hoodoo is? So that's like the tunnel that pops up and there's like a tube? So the next category is going to be lakes. So whoever feels like they want lakes can redeem the channel point redeem. Huh, okay. Thin spires of rocks that have what looks like caps on it. I guess that makes sense for what the Badlands is. Supreme would like a lake question. Have the bodies of water been being nice to you, Supreme? Oh wait, sorry, and Crew got it first, then Supreme did. Sorry, my bad. I saw the Supremes before I saw Ann Crew's. So Ann Crew did a student question. What number did you roll? And you rolled a number 1. Lake I can never pronounce this one. Lake Okanagan is home to the fabled sea monster Ogopogo. In which province is this lake located? Where is Ogopogo? The sea monster. I mean, I haven't been stopping other people from answering. It's gonna be her choice whether she believes you or not. But welcome in, Passion Tiger. It is not Alberta, unfortunately, and it is British Columbia. Alright, and Supreme also did a scholar. So Supreme is getting Manitoba. True or false? Manitoba has an ocean coastline. That is true. Hey, Cub, can you guess where the ocean coastline is? What am I doing here? You know, one fact you don't want to say. Hi, Zylera, you are doing one on mining. Ooh, this is one of those questions that I said comes up with the like extra hard mode. So sorry, Zylera. Or no, sorry, never mind. You chose student, not scholar. Never mind, you're fine. Student number 3. The majority of Canadian oil and gas comes from which province? I got real scared for you there for a second. But you chose student, not scholar, so you're fine. The majority of Canadian oil and gas comes from which province? Yes, also from the Maritimes, many people moved there. It is a popular spot for people to go for work. It is Alberta. I know, Anne. It's kind of unfair, that question. But technically, Hudson's Bay is an ocean bay. So it is kind of a tricky thing. So the next category is what's in a name? I would like what's in a name? What's in name letters? Alright, Cub. You did a scholar question. Oh, why do they like making me pronounce things I can't pronounce? I'm typing this one out before I even try. CHNAMAYWAYPINWANIK. That is all one word. What Canadian record does Pekwaknamakoasquepinakwek Lake hold? Yeah, definitely First Nation. But what? Uh, I accidentally paused my music. There we go. What Canadian record does that hold? Yes, Cub, it is the longest name. That was one of those extra brain questions that is meant to be one of the harder questions in the deck. All right, and Passion Tiger, you did a student question. Your category is the Arctic. Oh, thank you for the translation, Anne. Ooh, we're back to the hoodoos and the pingoos. What are soil-covered ice hills found in Canada's Arctic called? Chinooks, hoodoos, or pingos? And that is a student easy question, apparently. That one is for Passion Tiger. What are soil-covered ice hills found in Canada's Arctic called? Chinooks, hoodoos, or pingos? You're going with hoodoo? Well, apparently they're pingoos. I also don't know what a pingu is. I am gonna be looking up pictures of all of these rock formations later, because I need to know. A pingu. Doop doop. I know exactly which penguins you're talking about. The hoodoo is the fairy chimney. Yeah. Alright, Xylera, you are having a Yukon question. You rolled a number 3 for student. We've already did that one, so we're going to switch to a different one. True or false? 19 of Canada's 20 highest mountains are found in the Yukon. That is true. Pingus are formations of ice-covered hills that grow as groundwater freezes and expands beneath the surface. Huh. Interesting. Oh, I need to stretch out my string. The next category is bays. There are 11,000 pingos in the world. Huh. Crafty Cub, you did a student question on the bays. Oh, okay. The Bay of Fundy is located on which coast? Yes, it is the East Coast. The Bay of Fundy has some of the highest tides in the world. And is around Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. Supreme would like a scholar question. Did you look at... Oh, you couldn't have looked at the question. My camera has been drifting. I didn't notice. Let's fix that. Ugh. All right. Category is none of it. You did a scholar question. The word none of it means our land in what language? The card says Inuktitut. I don't know if that's the same as Inuit. I'm gonna guess not. Yeah, I don't actually know. That's kind of why I'm hesitating, but the card does say Inuktitut. Well, that's it. I'm not sure if Inuit is just the name of the people and Inuktitut is the language, or whether there are two separate things. You know what? I'm gonna give it to Supreme because she's been having a bum luck with these questions. So I'm gonna be nice. I don't know if she's like technically right or not. 50 points, whoop whoop. Um, I just opposite weaved. Hey, Ellie, how are you? Welcome to the raid train. Are you gonna join us in our trivia games? Okay, we got two redeems. Crafty Cub redeemed the Scholar. It came through first on my screen, so we're going with that one for oceans. Canada has a shoreline among 3 oceans. Name the 3 oceans. You gotta name all 3. So Ellie, we are playing the trivia game. You can use the channel point redeem to redeem questions for points, and at the end of the stream in, geez, we'll probably start the auction in like 15 minutes. It's coming. The auction is for one of my Nova Scotia bookmarks. Crafty Cub, Pacific, Arctic, and Atlantic, yes. Okay. I might still be here. We are raiding out Ellie at 9 to continue on our raid train. Okay, I am behind a person. So we have a student question for Xylera. True or false? Nope, not. Yeah, true or false. Ottawa is the capital of Ontario. That question is for Xylera. True or false? Ottawa is the capital of Ontario. And no, Supreme, you could get Ontario question, eh? It's a trick question! It is false. Ottawa is the capital of Canada. Toronto is the capital of Ontario. At Xylera and Passion Tiger, you have a scholar question about the prairies. During the 1930s, what type of storm devastated crops in the prairies? That is an extra challenge question. Sorry, Passion Tiger, you had bad luck. The next one's PI. Well, you're complaining, but you did get it right. It was a dust storm that wiped out crops in the prairies in the 1930s. Yeah, well, that I'll show you on the card. It has these extra little, like, brain icons to tell you it's like an extra super hard question. What does that mean in the actual gameplay? Uh oh, it doesn't actually do anything other than just be super hard. You didn't you didn't ask a student question, you claimed a scholar question in the redeem. Supreme is getting the PI scholar question. You rolled a 2. There we go. We've got another big brain question. The answer is not red. What strait separates Prince Edward Island from the mainland? We're getting into the big brain questions. Oops, pulling a little too tight. Don't mess up my tension. What strait separates Prince Edward Island from the mainland? Hey, the Northumberland Strait. Oh, you go there almost daily? Do you have to cross the bridge that often? Oh, okay. A student question. We have a student question in the category biggest or smallest. 1. We can't answer 1 because we've already answered that one. So number 2 is, what is Canada's least populous provincial capital? Least populous provincial capital. This requires that you know your provincial capitals. Any wild guesses, Lyra? That one is kind of rough if you're not someone from Canada, so you don't know your provincial capitals. Like, oh, Iqaluit would probably be a good answer, but technically, Charlottetown has less people. Charlottetown is the answer. Ads, though, meh. Type the answer just in case Ilera's stuck in ads. I am curious, though, how many people are in Iqaluit versus Charlottetown? Oh yeah, I guess because Iqaluit is technically a territory capital, not a provincial capital. That's a good call. Got an ad break. Oh, I got a big knot. Oh, Jesus. We're getting some weaving in while the ads are happening. Alrighty, ad break is done. We have probably another 5-10 minutes before I start opening up the auction to win the bookmark I made this last week. Since, we're not making any progress on this one. Same yarn, just slightly wider. Is woo, very pretty. The colors of the Nova Scotia tartan. The only caveats are that you need to be over 18 years old and be willing to give me your mailing address for me to be able to mail it to you. Oh, right. Xylera picked a student question. Hers was redeemed first, so we'll go with that one. She's got British Columbia. True or false? British Columbia is Canada's wettest province. That is indeed true. And one at Xylera and Passion Tiger. Your question is in agriculture. You did a scholar question. Which province has the largest dairy industry? It is not Ontario, it is Quebec. Yeah, that I probably would have guessed Ontario as well. I think they have the better marketing on it. Now, while the auction is running, you can still redeem questions and potentially win more questions. So you don't have to stop asking the questions, but we probably have time for a couple more before I start the bidding. You need to know how many points you have. It's exclamation point noggins, as seen in the stream title. That'll tell you how much you have to bid with once I open it up. You're earning points for correct answers as well as some points for just hanging out with me. I do appreciate you all coming to hang out with. I'm actually really enjoying these noggins questions. It might be something I keep permanently in my stream. Not necessarily completely as free as they are now. I might keep the option for a couple every stream, because that is fun. I've been really enjoying the trivia. Lara would like another student question. We've got the category of geology. The oil sands are located in which province, Xylera? Where are the oil sands located? Alberta is correct. And one. That's Xylera. Oh, right. And Passion Tiger is getting a question on islands. Islands. Scholar question. What is Canada's most northern island? I was really hoping there would be a PI question here for you, but there was not. I checked all three. Yeah, Ellesmere. N2 at Mission Tag. Ellesmere Island. All right. We are going to open up the auction. Let me just do it properly. Bid start. So you can do exclamation bid to start bidding. The bidding will close at 8:45. It is currently 8:35, so you got 10 minutes to bid. And then we're going to start wrapping up and stuff like that. But you can still redeem questions if you want to redeem questions, and we will keep reading questions if you want to get more points. Who is going to receive a bookmark in the mail from me? Chat is going to be chaos while this is happening, apparently. I didn't realize it was going to respond whenever you're outbid, too. That should be entertaining. Good thing I only said we're running this for 10 minutes. And we all are distracted with that. I'll get some more weaving done. Oh, Supreme's entered the bidding. It's so hard to keep track. Numbers are just flying everywhere. Ooh, we're up to 500. Oh no, Xylera! Quick, redeem a question. Student question for Xylera. Uh, what is the capital of Halifax? Oh wait, scratch that. I just gave you the answer. Uh, True or false? Nova Scotia is home to Canada's most eastern point of land. True or false? Nova Scotia is home to Canada's most eastern point of land. Thank you, Passion Tiger. It is false, Xylera. The most eastern point of land is Cape Spear on Newfoundland Island. Yeah, 5 minutes left in the auction. You can still keep redeeming questions to try and get more points if you need them. It's not letting you bid more points, Cub. You were already winning. Student question. This is in capital cities. True or false? Halifax is Canada's most eastern provincial capital. The capital of Halifax is IKEA. Probably. Yeah, so true or false? Halifax is Canada's most eastern provincial capital. Oh no! It's false! St. John's, Newfoundland is the most eastern capital. Not PI questions, she's got 2 Newfoundland questions. Fashion Tiger, scholar question. Which province has the largest forest industry? Yes, it is BC. Uh, and two. Hey there, mountain question student. The Rocky Mountains are found in which two provinces? Two provinces. Aw, Cubby, you've been beat. Alberta, yeah. Alberta and BC. Wait. Let me add the points. There are 3 more minutes left of the auction. 3 more minutes. Oh no, Cub, you don't have enough noggins. Oh no! Y'all don't have enough noggins! Student question, national parks for Passion Tiger. True or false? Banff National Park is Canada's largest national park. That question is for Passion Tiger. Banff National Park. True or false? Large? It is false. Wood Buffalo National Park is the largest. And one at Passion and Cub. You redeemed a scholar question. What bay is located between New Brunswick and Nova Scotia? I was already typing in that you had the right answer because I knew you were going to get that one. Zalera! Student question. True or false? Newfoundland and Labrador is considered to be an Atlantic province. You were getting all of the Newfoundland questions. So they're true or false? Newfoundland and Labrador is considered to be an Atlantic province. It is true. All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. I'm pausing for the last question. Zalera, what would you just student one? True or false? In the northern city of Inukvik, the sun never sets during the summer months. It is true. I'm counting again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bid stop. Oh! Cubby got it. Sorry, Zalera. You snuck in with that question, but not fast enough with the bid. So, Cubby, I will message you later to get your address and get this guy in the mail. That was really fun. And with that last sneaky question from Zalera, we went through the deck twice. That was a lot of questions. So, I want to look for just some of the other super hard questions and interesting ones. You can be honorary. I don't know if king is the right label. I don't know. I mean, you seem to have got more questions right than Supreme, I think. So we might have to. I don't know if we have a choice. Let's see, what else do we have? I'm trying to find some good questions that we didn't see. What is Canada's most visited national park? Alright, sounds good, Supreme. We're just gonna hang out for the last few minutes anyway. It is Banff National Park. In which province or territory can one see wild caribou in Gros Morne National Park? Where can you find wild caribou in Gros Morne? No, no, not Unicorn's Cup. That's moose. The moosin. We're looking for caribou. Caribou. Caribou is in Newfoundland and Labrador. Oh, reindeer are unicorn. Sorry, not caribou. Okay. Which province produces the most maple syrup? Quebec, New Brunswick, or Saskatchewan? They're not the same animal. They're different animals. Yes, Bastion Tiger, Quebec. They have a whole, like, mafia with their maple syrup. If you haven't heard the stories of this, there's, like, a whole, like, maple syrup reserve. So, like, a warehouse full of just maple syrup. And, like, they control, like, what you, who can sell it and for what. It is insane. What animal surrounds their young when threatened? It's an Arctic animal. Is that penguins? Right, yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's kind of why I started hesitating. I was like, I think it's penguins, but then no, penguins are south, not north. I don't know, Cub. Oh, muskox. Okay. Here, Cub, I have another question for you, though, because you got so many questions about this area. Which provincial capital is closest to being centered on Canada's east-west axis? Winterpeg! It's which province was closest to being centered on Canada's east-west axis? Yeah, Winnipeg. Winnipeg is pretty much smack middle from east to west. Okay, and since I am in the province of Nova Scotia, let's just do, to close off, the Nova Scotia question card. We only did, I think, one of them? Two of them. We did two of them. So we'll do the student one first. Which of the following islands is part of Nova Scotia? Anticosti, Banffin, or Cape Breton? Yeah, Cape Breton. Cape Breton's kind of like mini Scotland. They try real hard to be. What city in Nova Scotia has the most people? Halifax! What is the French translation of Nova Scotia? Nouvelle-Écosse. Nouvelle-Écosse. Do you want to share one more time? That is the 3D print for the little loom I've been pretending to weave on. I've got, a couple inches done. That's about it. So, last question for Nova Scotia is what, and this actually applies because I do live just outside Halifax, and the person we are going to raid into also lives in Halifax, so you're not traveling very far on today's train. What are the residents of Halifax known as? So you have Canadian for Canada, you have Nova Scotian for Nova Scotia, Halifax, as Passion Tiger has gotten it, is Haligonians. Haligonians. Which is really funny. You can always count on English to not follow a single rule. Haligonians. So, of the trivia questions, is there any really interesting facts you guys learned today that you didn't know? Are there any ones that surprised you, you thought were particularly interesting? Yeah, I think that for me is the hoodoos and the pingoos. Those are the ones that are definitely the most amusing to me, because that was not something I knew at all. Like, I don't know rock formations that well. Thank you very much for the follow. Yeah, I do stand by. I do agree. Angu? The only rock formations I know are rock bands. Yeah, like the Great Big Sea. Rock out to Great Big Sea for a minute. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we have what? 2 days left of the raid train. Oh, awesome! Good job, Bandit. So TCC. What day are we? We're Sunday? We have a few people left on the Sunday stream. We have Giggy coming up next. He's my fellow Haligonian. And then Xylera. And then TCC Monday. Got all these people. We've got Ghost Class, Lady B, Supreme in the Morning, Clen, Celtic Lass, Squidgecraft, Tina, Vixen, the Crafty Cub, Debdemo, and Strawberry Gem. And TCC Tuesday, we have Xylera again, Joyful Designs, Arte, Adorable Creations, Skylerna, and then Supreme will be finishing out the event. I hope you guys are able to see as many people as you can. I appreciate you hanging out with me and making it fun answering trivia questions. I definitely just missed a thread. Oh, my camera's freaking out. I can't figure out where to focus. I don't know if you can do me a favor, but I lost my raid call for the stream. I'm assuming you probably have it copied and saved somewhere. I could hunt it down, but you'll probably find it a lot quicker than I will. Other than that, we're just waiting for Miss Supreme's go-ahead. I'll try and get a few more rows in. Other than that, I will be back streaming tomorrow evening, just a little later than when we started here. I'm about to undo a row. I usually stream this time every Sunday night, Monday night, and Wednesday night. That's when you can find me doing various crafts. Lately we've been working on... Thank you very much for the follow. Perfect, thank you, Supreme. Supreme or Cub, do you happen to have the raid call? I am bad and don't have it saved properly. I would love to use the proper raid train raid call. Thank you. Everyone, we are going to see a wonderful fellow Haligonian Nova Scotian Canadian just a few minutes up the road from me. I hope you give him as much love and fun as you did here with me. And of course, copy that raid train message. Send the love there. One. All right, where's my buttons? Oh, there's the button. Again, thank you very much for hanging out with me. Why can I not find Giggy? There he is. There's my Giggy. I've raided him far too many times. Ooh, it looks like he's doing something cute. Thank you very much, friends. I will see hopefully some of you tomorrow. Have a great evening.